Looking 3 to 5 years ahead, what does success look like for Perlisten?
What we want to do is just to continue to grow as we're growing. We're doing a lot of cinema and we're doing a lot of immersive audio. And what we want to do is to continue to make SKUs that are right for people. We have a couple new things coming out, which you'll hear about in Vienna, at the Vienna Hi-Fi show. So we're always developing. We will never cheapen the line, and we'll never go against our design philosophies. So we just want to keep creating and growing.
Your CEO just passed away. How is the executive structure would be like in the future?
Currently, Lars, who is our CSO and one of the partners in the company, he is assuming CEO responsibility. And then later on, that may shift. So it will still stay internal. So we're not bringing in any outside people. That wouldn't be Perlisten. We are only a company of 5, but again, we have 150 years worth of experience. It's kind of like a super group. If you ever heard of like the group Toto, that was all really famous musicians got together and boom, they had a band. So that's what Perlisten is. It's a family and everyone wears all hats. Nobody does one thing. Like I do product development, I do tech support, I do custom install support. I will be doing the podcast. I do the videos, visiting here, demos. Everyone's like that in the company. So we need to have all the executive function within the company because that's how we can continue to be nimble and we know what we need. It's kind of like, I just know what you need, you know what I need. And we don't have a lot of red tape. We just do it. Yeah. So we have a good roadmap of that we are, again, new products coming out and a good plan to keep this company moving, and especially in Dan's honor. So, and I do want to share a quote. Dan said a quote which I thought was pretty profound and pretty awesome. So when he was reflecting on his journey, he said, "Be more wave and less particle." I thought that was a totally proper quote for A, just humans, but B, for a guy that was in the audio and design speakers. Thought that's pretty cool. So I'm sharing that everywhere.
What is the next major technical frontier you're most excited about?
One of the new products that we're releasing in Vienna is the DSP X, which is a digital crossover with DSP. That's a product made for the stereo world, so you can properly integrate subwoofers with main speakers, left and right speakers. That means being able to change delay. So being able to time the subwoofers and the main speakers to a sound arrive at the same time so it slams you. It also means having some room correction in there. So when you have imperfect rooms, which say all are, you can do some changes. So that one we're excited about. We have a new series of speakers coming out called the X series, which we'll be showing in Vienna as well, which is all aluminum speakers that are on wall. So we have a lot of solid wall markets where they can't go in wall and they can't have big cabinets. So they need speakers that will meet the needs. Again, listening to customers, like, yeah, right, we can do that. So we have that coming out, and we have lots of other things that I can't talk about.
Do you see Perlisten moving further into active DSP powered speaker, or will the flagship experience remain passive reference amplification?
We are moving in lots of directions. I will point out that even with our drivers, we also design our own amplifiers and build them, and our own firmware and our own software. We do everything in-house. So we don't get plate amps for our subwoofers. Those are all designed by one of our partners, whose name is Steven. He's amazing. And as I said, when everything's designed and built ground up, it truly is, including every plate amp for all of our woofers or our rack amps, all designed by us, built by us. So we do have the know-how to do any of those things that you mentioned.
What's the biggest change coming to high-end speakers in the next 5 years?
Oh, I would have to say for us, it's to continue to be as low distortion as possible and as much dynamic range as possible. So basically making it sound like you're not listening to a speaker. That's our goal.
Do you think the market is moving toward matched system or staying modular and mix and match?
I certainly hope it's going towards stick within the same brand. That's back to when I talked about timbre. If you have different speakers with different characteristics around a room, your sound is not going to be cohesive. It's going to be a hot mess. So you need to, I would never want anybody to mix brands. Stay with the same brand and stay, especially if, like with Perlisten, the way we have, we try very carefully to make sure the timbre is the same of all of our models. Keep the same series. So, don't mix R with S or A with S. Keep it all S, keep it all R, but that's critical. Even in the recording studio, as they're now recording live, let's say it's a chamber orchestra in a cathedral, and they have an Atmos microphone array above there. Those are, when they go and mix that down in the studio, they don't have different speakers around. They have the same, so that they get a proper representation. We need to do that as well.
If you could change one industry habit that hurts sound quality the most, what would it be?
Oh, is it just one? Okay, subwoofers are okay. That would be the first thing. And DSP is okay if you need it. And then the third one would be, don't over dampen your room. Don't put foam all the way around your room. That kills them. People think that's good. It's not good.
What's one audiophile belief engineers dismiss too quickly, but is sometimes true?
So engineers are people that solve problems. And I think I'm always amazed at how many, here's one of my pet peeves. When I go to a hi-fi show and I go into a room and it sounds awful, the engineering of the speaker might have been okay, but they had no idea how to put the speaker in the room. That would be my thing that engineers might say doesn't matter, but it absolutely matters, or just aren't educated about the interaction of a speaker in a room.
If the cost is no limit, what would be the one feature to add to future speakers?
I would say it wouldn't be to change anything in the speaker. It would be to add lots of subwoofers. So you can even out bass response and pressurize a room really well.
Finish this sentence for me. In 5 years, great speakers will be defined by
Perlisten. I think the best speaker in the world is something that sounds like it isn't a speaker and just sounds emanating from a space. And that's what we're trying to do.
They disappear. Huh?
Yeah. A test I always do is when I'm listening to music, I look at the right speaker and I expect to not hear anything come from it. And I look at the left and I expect to hear nothing come from it. And I look at the center and I expect it to just be there. That's the goal.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you very much.